This July the 19th Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at underdogfantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. Welcome everybody to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Friday, July the 18th, and I am here to handicap the full slate of action for Saturday, July the 19th. The eagle-eyed among you will have noticed for the second time, having never happened in 5 years, for the second time in round about 6 weeks, it's a solo special. And I will tell you why. Scotty Too Hotty is still in Florida, enjoying himself. It is D-Rock's 30th birthday today, Dylan. Happy birthday, Dylan. So Dylan was going to be here with me, and then was surprised by his family with some shit. So happy birthday, Dylan. So Dylan cried off at short notice, and Lonte has done the very sensible thing. And ignored all the messages that we've sent him because it's Friday night. Do you know what I mean? Lonte, there's no flies on Lonte. So Lonte studiously ignored the messages, which has left me here for a Friday night. I mean, it's quite late on a Friday. I don't often do the Friday show, but there wasn't too much happening today. It was actually, today it was one of those things where nothing happened, but it was quite a sad nothing because it was the kids' last day at school holidays. And that used to be a big thing. Like if you're a kid, like, Christmas Day, your birthday, and then maybe the last day of school was like one of the biggest things. And the kids just came in and just weren't like mad excited. You know what I mean? Like they weren't sort of doing cartwheels, jumping for joy, stuff like that. They're just a bit too old, I think. And it was just another example of how little they need me. Because I was here thinking they'd all be excited, maybe want to do something, go out and have some post-school shenanigans. But no, absolutely nothing. So the last solo show I did say if anyone's in the chat, it needs to help me out because I need all the help, especially off the shrewd panel that we have here. Callum, I imagine, was first in the chat, will be absolutely no help. But thanks for showing up, Callum. I appreciate that part of what you're doing. Skrill's live from the curb, as always, and Eli is here as well. There's a few other people lurking around, so anything you fancy, give out. I will say, so far in the second half of the season, I am sporting a 100% record, though. One game has been completed so far today where the Chicago Cubs, behind Colin Ray, did beat the Boston Red Sox 4-1. 3 runs off Lucas Giolito. I think it was a Seiya Suzuki homer early on. That was quite a split opinions on the Cubs and the Red Sox. It was quite a tricky game, but it's nice to get one in the hutch to start with. So the Cubs were a winner. Saturday's card, I've got 30 pitches and I've got 15 sets of lines and totals. So we've got absolutely everything lined up. Eli's messaged about it. I put a tweet up earlier on. My daughter messaged me this morning and it just said, don't pick up the phone when the school ring. Which just made me laugh. I just thought it was a really ballsy play. She was like, I mean, yeah, I didn't know what to make of it. So it was a funny story, so I put that up. Turns out it wasn't as dramatic or as exciting as it might have been. They just misplaced her, basically. They hadn't registered her as being present. And then located her, but in the meantime, we were supposed to get a phone call saying, where's your daughter? So that's why she was telling me not to pick the phone up. But it did sound like there was some wild shenanigans afoot and she was trying to get out of it. So unfortunately, Eli, the actual initial message was funnier than the outcome. But there you go. We're going to start tomorrow with, there's some early evening stuff for me here, which isn't too bad. 3:07 Eastern time. We kick off with the San Francisco Giants and the Toronto Blue Jays. Officially TBD San Francisco, but I think it's Robbie Ray for the Giants. For the Blue Jays, Eric Lauer is the confirmed pitcher. Plus 105, the Blue Jays. Minus 125, San Francisco. Total sits at 8.5. Robbie Ray has been great. at 2.65 ERA with a 1.08 whip, a 2.81 road ERA. It's really hard to pick holes in his game log or his metrics. He's just a good, solid pitcher. Eric Lauer has been going quite short starts, but fairly steady. And he started 5 times at home, and it's a 2.45 home ERA. So there's not that much in it. I think the prices are just about spot on. You'd probably make the Giants a slight favourite, but the Giants do struggle to win against lefties, and especially early on. They're 4, 15 and 7 against left-handed pitching in the first 5. I don't think their offense is as good. And the Toronto Blue Jays pen is absolutely fine as well. So if we need 4 or 5 innings out the Blue Jays pen, I don't see that being a problem. So I think the Blue Jays can wear them down. I think it'll be low scoring, but the Blue Jays can wear them down. I'm going to take the Blue Jays in this. Plus 105. I think we're probably getting a slightly better team at plus money at home. So I'm happy to go with the Toronto Blue Jays in that spot. 4:10 Eastern is the Kansas City Royals at the Miami Marlins, where Michael Wacha will go for the Royals. For the Marlins, it will be Cal Quantrill. Even money, Miami, plus 100. The Royals, minus 120. Total sits at 8.5. Skrills is seeing Logan Webb listed for San Francisco tomorrow. Yeah, I said officially TBD. I know last night was a shambles with the pitching. Quite a lot of stuff's moved around. The Yankees is one off the top of my head. We have to say what pans out. Obviously, the resumption after the All-Star break, Skrills has left things in a little state of flux. Hopefully, Michael Wacha and Cal Quantrill go in this spot here. Michael Wacker's last start against the New York Mets was okay, but had been struggling before that. The Royals have lost his last 4 starts. Cal Quantrill, he's been on a slightly fortunate winning streak because he has won some games without his numbers being particularly good. It was really hard for me to try and find a positive enough stat or trend or angle. Sometimes you go pitcher, no thanks. Offense, no thanks. Is there a split? Is there a trend? Just one positive thing can sometimes tip you over the edge. And I struggled a little bit with this one. Eventually, I kind of found that Miami bats are good against these soft contact guys that Michael Wacha fits in to that category. And Quantrill profiles really well. The Royals struggle a little bit against sliders and low spin rate sinkers. So I've been told. So that just tipped me towards Miami. And I haven't needed much encouragement to back Miami, as I mentioned on the show last night. So, I'll take the Marlins as a home dog at even money. 8:10 Eastern first pitch. No, it's not 8:10, is it? 4:10 Eastern first pitch. The Cincinnati Reds are at the New York Mets, where Nick Martinez goes for the Reds. Clay Holmes is slated again for the New York Mets. We did have him down to pitch on Friday night, but looks like he's going to go Saturday with Sean Manaea going for the Mets, actually. Lonte had a feeling it might be Manaea. Nick Martinez was lit up for 10 earned runs by Miami on his penultimate start, and that skewed his numbers slightly, even though he still is quite hard to trust. Holmes is steady, 3.16 home ERA, and the Mets are much stronger at home. I think they've got enough to win this. I'll be honest, minus 180. I didn't think they'd be that price, the Mets. I thought they might be a bit more of a backable price. I thought they might be nearer to minus 150. Maybe a Mets team total at 5 on that one, because I do prefer the Mets in this position over the Cincinnati Reds. 6:05 Eastern is the LA Angels at the Philadelphia Phillies. Left-handed pitcher Yusei Kikuchi has the start for the Halos. For the Phillies, it will be Taiwan Walker. Minus 135, the Phillies. They're quite backable here at that price. The Angels trade at plus 115 in a total of 9.5. Tyler Anderson, he's quite helpful if you're a handicapper. He's just a plain old mid-4 ERA guy. But he is worse on the road, which helps in this situation when we're trying to handicap. He's got a 5.41 road ERA. Taijuan Walker, he's kind of acting as a swingman for the Phillies, long opener, if you will. But if you filter his game log by starts rather than his long relief appearances, teams tend to be able to get to him, especially second time through the order. Both runs per game, the Angels and the Phillies, is okay, and neither bullpen special as well. So I think we can see runs in this game. Over 9.5, looks like a reasonable total to me in that one. Let's see if anybody else in the chat's got any helpful comments. Eli just pointing out exactly what I just said there. Taijuan Walker, the bullpen will be doing a lot of the heavy lifting for Philadelphia. And like I said, not hugely enthralled with the Phillies bullpen or the Angels. So everything points to us being able to get some runs on the board. If you think you know ball, you have to enter Circa's football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. There's no rake, so any extra money goes straight into the pot. Circa Million, you pick 5 teams ATS, and the survivor is the Big Sweat, obviously. Register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Nevada, but you need to use our proxy, or you can use our proxy to play from anywhere. Go to footballcontest.com, use promo code SGP to get $50 off those proxy fees. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, football futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply at mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. 6:40 Eastern first pitch is the Chicago White Sox at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Adrian Hauser for the White Sox, and Mike Burrows goes for Pittsburgh. -135 the Pirates. The White Sox plus 115. Total here at 8.5. Where on earth is Adrian Hauser's stat line come from? He's been absolutely outstanding. 5-2 record, 156 ERA. 22 innings, 1 earned run given up over his last 3 games, all of which have been wins. However, you can see by the scores of these games just how good he has to be able to win. The games, those 3 wins have come by scores of 2-1, 3-2, and 1-0. So he doesn't get much help from the White Sox offense. I'm not sure about Mike Burrows. He might be okay. I don't know. I think I'll be looking to fade him in the second half because the White Sox can't hit on the road and Hauser's been great. It has to be an under. His total's gigantic, 8.5. These two could play for hours. I give them 18 innings each and they wouldn't score 8.5 runs. So I'll take under between the White Sox and the Pittsburgh Pirates. 6:45 Eastern. The San Diego Padres are at the Washington Nationals. Yu Darvish for San Diego, and left-handed pitcher Mitchell Parker will go for the Washington Nationals, who are plus 125 home underdogs. Padres -150 and a total of 9. 2 starts now for Yu Darvish. Hasn't been too sharp in either. Has walked 3 batters in each of those, and only 2 strikeouts as well. I think it's safe to say there's more to come from Yu Darvish. There's better days ahead. We kind of know what he's capable of. I do feel this is a chance maybe to get at him while he's still a little bit rusty, though. Mitchell Parker is still a full-on fade for me, though. He gave up another 7 earned runs at the Brewers on his last start. However, it wasn't that straightforward fading Parker because the Padres are really underperforming against left-handed pitching with the bat. They rank 25th or worse in just about every offensive category here. I thought this was really hard, but I thought I would take a risk on Darvish just being still a little bit rusty and take a Washington team total, which I'm guessing will be over 3.5. Looking at the lines, Darvish not quite fully tuned up. Washington might be a good chance just to get into Darvish before he does get his season back on track. So I'll take the Washington team total. Eli briefly fancied the Nationals until he saw that it was Mitchell Parker going on the mound and changed his mind. Yes, never be too brave to change your mind, Eli. I like that. Where are we going? 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Boston Orioles, not the Boston Orioles, the Baltimore Orioles at the Tampa Bay Rays. Dean Kramer for Baltimore will take on Zach Littell of the Rays. The Rays are minus 130 here. Baltimore plus 110 with a total of 9. I do prefer the Tampa Bay Rays in this spot. They will be my pick, moneyline pick at minus 130. Dean Kramer, really obvious home road split guy. He has an even 2 ERA at home, but a 5.83 on the road. Zach Littell is much more consistent. And crucially here, he's got a 3.40 ERA in this little park in Sacramento, which is a huge positive because there's a lot of SPs have struggled in this spot. A lot of race pitchers have struggled here, and Littell isn't one of them. So that, coupled with Kramer's woes on the road, I think it's just a nice, sensible minus 130 home favourite in the Tampa Bay Rays. 7:05 Eastern, the Detroit Tigers at the Texas Rangers. Detroit officially TBD. I am seeing Casey Mize listed for Detroit, with Kumar Rocker going for Texas. Tight on the books, this one. Minus 115 the Rangers, minus 105 the Tigers. Total sits at 8.5. Mize had an absolute shocker in his last start before the break against Seattle. 6 earned runs, I think it was. But I'm happy to concentrate on his earlier form. That bad start was very much an outlier for me. His form before that was very good, reliable. Kumar Rocker was showing signs of life. He'd been in auto fade for me for a couple of months. Actually, finished the first half relatively strongly. And his home starts particularly being good. He's actually sitting with a 2-0 home record in a 2.35 ERA. So I think both pitchers can keep the lid on this early. And I'm going to take a first 5 under between the Detroit Tigers and the Texas Rangers. Adam is in the chat. Adam, welcome along. How are you doing? And Mike Wilkerson's joined us. Mike, nice to have you. Mike wants a Padres team total over. So you add that to my Nationals team total over. It's just runs. Runs galore between the Padres and the Nationals, which was kind of the angle in. That is the angle that we wanted. 7:10 Eastern. The Athletics are at the Cleveland Guardians. The pitching matchup is Luis Severino for the Athletics. Left-handed pitcher Logan Allen goes for Cleveland. Minus 135 Cleveland. Plus 115 the A's. Total here is at 8.5. Looked at Luis Severino yesterday. Relatively short starts. Tons of contact he gives up. He is better on the road, but the Athletics have somehow lost 11 of his 12 starts, which isn't a hugely strong trend in Severino's favour. Logan Allen Cleveland haven't won many of his games, but he's actually been good enough to keep them in it. I just think this represents a good opportunity against Severino. I took the A's for the Friday night game. Cleveland did finish the first half of the season quite strongly, put a nice little winning streak together. And I prefer Allen against Severino, who just can't win a game. It's a decent trend. Cleveland back against right-handed pitching, which they are much more comfortable with. So another minus 135. Maybe parlay that up with Tampa Bay. We'll get these minus 130 favourites over the line. Randy joined us in the chat. Randy, nice to have you with us. Cheers indeed. 7:15 Eastern will be the second game of the series. The Red Sox at the Cubs. Game 1 already finished this evening with a Cubs victory. And Brian Bello will go for the Boston Red Sox. Left-handed pitcher Shota Imanaga for the Chicago Cubs. Minus 155, the Cubs. Plus 130, Boston. And the total is at 9. I thought the total was high here. These two pitchers are in really quite rude form, the two of them. Excellent stuff from Brian Bello coming into the break. He followed up a complete game against the Rockies with 6 1/3 one-run ball against Tampa Bay Rays. He has a 2.95 road ERA. His July ERA was 2.21. June ERA was 2.87. I think it's just a great opportunity to strike while the iron is hot with Boston and with Bello. Now, the issue is Imanaga has been excellent. 7 innings of one-run ball against the Yankees last time out. He's got a 0.93 whip, which is a great indication of what Imanaga has been doing, keeping people off the base path. So I don't think you need to be too clever here. The total's 9. Obviously, we check the weather in Wrigley, which we always will. If anyone knows anything about the weather tomorrow in Chicago, you can tell me about that. Eli's in the chat, they're making the exact same point. But both pitchers will go well, is my point. So, I'll take it under 9, barring any ridiculous windy conditions. Nathan's here this evening. Nathan's taking Cleveland for the Friday night games. Oh, I was thinking the other way. They can't hit lefties. I couldn't get away from it. It's done me so well, Nathan, fading that Cleveland against lefties. And I do like JPCs. So I went the other way for that one, Nathan. We've got a crossfire, but good luck anyway. I won't begrudge you if you have a little winner. Underdog, Best Ball Mania. It's happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Use our code MLB SGPN to claim a special pick. First time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN. And you have heard us talk about rhythm before. Tons of features, but a new one called Power Trends on there, which are AI detected patterns where Rhythm's model is consistently run and has a high ROI. Power Trends are updated daily, clean data-backed bets, hitting at a 63% rate at the moment. WNBA Power Trends are right up there as well. So loads of good stuff at hang on a minute. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Next game is the 7:15 Eastern first pitch between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Arizona Diamondbacks. It is Sonny Gray for the Cardinals. He will oppose Ryan Nelson of Arizona. And this one is relatively tight on the books. Minus 115 for St. Louis. Minus 105 Arizona. Total sits at 8.5. As Joel joins us to say hello and happy Friday. Joel, yes, mate. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend. Look forward to it. Sonny Gray, he's another home road split candidate. Who did we find? Oh, Dean Kramer was the one earlier on we mentioned, but Sonny Gray's in that boat as well. 457 on the road is a reliable indicator. I think Sonny Gray is quite steady. He's quite easy to handicap. And that 457 ERA on the road is perfectly reasonable. Nelson's numbers surprised me. I didn't realise he'd been quite as good as he has. His 5 home starts have yielded a 2.17 ERA. And the Diamondbacks' record when he's pitched has been really good as well. The D-backs are over 500 in his start. So all of that combined at minus 105, I thought Arizona were a perfectly fair price there. So I'll take the Snakes to get one in the win column on Saturday. 7:15 Eastern, the New York Yankees are at the Atlanta Braves. Will Warren goes for the Yankees. Taking the ball for Atlanta is left-handed pitcher Joey Wentz. The odds are, let's find him, minus 125 New York, plus 105 Atlanta, total at 8.5. I find Will Warren hard to bet, but particularly on the road. His ERA now is up to 6.75. He's only registered 1 win as the pitcher of record in 10 starts. Joey Wentz is another one who'll likely serve as an opener, like Taijuan Walker. 26 appearances this season, but this will be his first start. The question is, can the Atlanta pen hold up? And I think they can. I think they've been really strong lately. ERA, FIP, BABIP, all good indicators enough to think that behind Wentz, the Atlanta Braves can handle this. And I'm not really in on Warren. Lonte mentioned last night he thought the Braves were set up for a decent second half of the season. So this might be a good time to get them at home against a vulnerable pitcher at plus money. I'll take the Braves at plus 105. And equally, if you're not convinced about Wentz or what's going to follow him, I don't mind an Atlanta team total if you wanted to go that way as well. So a couple of options there, and we'll try and get the Braves on side. 8:10 Eastern first pitch. The Minnesota Twins at the Colorado Rockies. Minnesota are officially TBD. I believe it is one of the biggest names in baseball. It will be Simeon Woods Richardson for Minnesota, with Antonio Sensatella going for Colorado at plus 155. The Twins minus 185. Total sits at 11.5. Simeon Woods Richardson, not much length in his starts, but good. The Twins bullpen backs him up really well, actually. This is his debut in Coors Field, so it remains to be seen how SWR will go here. But Sensatella, nearly all of Sensatella's starts are rubbish. That's the huge problem. 6.75 home ERA. I just can't recommend Sensatella in any way, shape or form. You can spend ages trying to make a clever case for the Rockies. There just isn't one to be had. It's a Minnesota run line at that price or a Minnesota team total. This will be way down my board. Not prize-winning picks, but there's not many other places I could go with that one. Penultimate game on the board is the Milwaukee Brewers at the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is a 9:10 Eastern first pitch. Freddie Peralta for the Brewers will take on Emmett Sheehan of the LA Dodgers. Dodgers are minus 130 favourites. Brewers plus 110. Total here is 8.5. I think you have to take a punt with the Brewers at plus 110 here. I mean, just on the pitching matchup more than anything, but there's other bits in their favour here. Peralta's been outstanding. The Brewers have won his last 6 starts, including a 9-1 win against the Dodgers, in which Freddie Peralta threw 6 innings, given up 5 hits, 0 earned runs, and struck out 7 Dodgers. Emmett Sheehan is tentatively started okay. Back one of these million injured Dodgers pitchers that we've seen over the last couple of years. And Emmett Sheehan is back here. 3 short starts, all okay. The first 500 I thought was tempting. The last line of my notes, because I did this at 3 o'clock this afternoon when you people were all asleep. I said, I'll bet Milwaukee if the price allows. And I think plus 110, the price allows. So I'll take the Brewers at plus 110. Eli is on board at that. So I think that counts as a team, right? We'll take the Brewers at plus money at the Dodgers. And the final game on the card, race through this in 28 minutes. I've got no one to talk to. That's what it is. You're probably all delighted about that, haven't you? No tangents for me to go on tonight. The Houston Astros are at the Seattle Mariners, where Lance McCullers Jr. goes for Houston. Seattle pitcher officially TBD. I know they messed around yesterday with Brian Wu, but I think it's going to be Logan Evans going. The books have priced it up, I think, as if it will be Logan Evans. With Houston at even money, Seattle minus 120 and a total of 8. Lance McCullers has been a bit of a mess lately. He seemingly has the ability to blow up at any given time. And it's a shame because I do like him. I like to root for Lance McCullers. But he's got a 166 whip. He's really easy to hit. There's some really ugly games in that game. Look. Logan Evans is kind of as unpredictable if you just look at his game log, but it's his home starts really good. 4-2 at home, 2.28 ERA, I mean, that plays. I said last night that we know this is a big series. The Mariners are chasing down the Astros and have a home series at which to take a bite out of them. And I think this is a great spot. -120 is a nice price. So I'll take Seattle. And I don't mind the Seattle team totally either, because I do think McCullers is particularly vulnerable. 4 runs or 5 runs out of Seattle, I think, is absolutely live. All 15 games there in the books. Ladies and gentlemen, I will try and have a hunt around for a lock and a dog. I do like the under between the Red Sox and the Cubs, or certainly I like the pitching matchup. I think it can be a pitching duel, but I can't in good faith give that out as an under without seeing a weather report. I've got 2 little underdogs here. I like Atlanta at home. I like the Brewers on the road, but I'll take Atlanta. I'll take the Braves at +105 against the Yankees. You can't be back in the Yankees at minus money with Will Warren on the mound. I'm just not buying that. So we'll take Atlanta as a small underdog at +105. And my lock, I tell you what, I'm going to go to the ugliest game on the board, a game none of you people will be watching. The White Sox and the Pirates, under 8.5. White Sox can't hit. And Hauser won't allow the Pirates to hit. Therefore, nobody hits. This will finish 2-0 to somebody. So that's way under 8.5. And the final thing I'll endeavour to do here is find a home run prop. Let me just drag up my little secret sauce for the home runs. I haven't been in bad form on the old home runs lately, actually. Right. Oh, right. Right, okay. Straight in. We're looking at a Baltimore hitter. I know I've done this 2 nights running, where the team I'm going to pick to hit the home run are a team that I have faded for the actual game. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly a plausible thing to happen. I'm going to fade Zach Littell. He's given up tons of homers. And also, we're in that little ballpark as well in Sacramento. So we want a Baltimore hitter, and we want, it's ugly, Ramon Laureano, maybe? Yeah, let's go with him. We'll go with Ramon Laureano. I think that's the first time his name's been mentioned on the show in 2025. Hello, Ramon. Hit us a home run tomorrow, please. Nice to have you. And I think my work here is done, unless anybody has given us out any pearls of wisdom down at the bottom of this chat. Eli's asking what game I'm going to have on the telly. Basically, the first one that starts is the short answer, Eli. I didn't catch any of the Cubs. I listened to, I had the women's football on in the bath earlier on. So, well, White Sox Pirates is on early. So I'll probably watch a little bit of that. And then I will stick a game in my ear when I go to bed, which will almost certainly be the Reds and the Mets. It's like whichever booth I like the most. It's really not to do with the game. Sometimes it's which commentators, which announcers, as you would call them, I find least offensive when I'm trying to get to sleep. And I don't mind the Mets. It's like a couple of old blokes, isn't it? And they're quite chill. So I can get to sleep without them ranting and raving in my ear hole. So that's the plan. Skrills, thank you very much as well. Thanks, everyone. Oh, well, I was going to say bye, but Dirt McGirt just turned up for the last 30 seconds. Dirt, we've finished because it was a one-man show, so we've rattled through it. But I am fine. It was nice to see you here. Come back next week and we'll have some proper crack. Thanks, everybody. Yes, Dirt has just realised that he did miss the show. Good luck. Have a great weekend. My Matt Fitzpatrick golf bet is live, so I'll sweat that out over the weekend. Maybe come back with a 40-1 winner. And good luck with all your bets.